Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. Well y'all, I saw the news earlier today, and it's difficult to say this, but today the end of service was announced for Dragalia Lost. I'm feeling an incredible mix of emotions right now, a tempest of feelings as it were, as I'm sure many of you are out there. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of fond memories of the game coming to surface, thinking about all the friends along the way, all of the quests and battles that we surmounted, and really just the whole lifespan of this channel covering Dragalia Lost and focusing exclusively on that one game. So certainly going through a lot, still processing this information. The end has been announced as far as new content releases for the end of July, where the story will conclude with the end of Chapter 26, the main campaign story, and it sounds like Dragalia Lost will still be available to play for some amount of time after that until things really shut down. But certainly this is surprising and dampening news on the eve of the game's 3.5-year anniversary. It puts a different spin on things this time around. Was still super excited, am still super excited to see what comes at the end of the month, and hopefully it's an event that does justice in some small way to this game, because I really think this has been a special connection for many of us. The thing that moved me the most over this day while I was at work, just sort of scrolling through and reading people's reactions and thoughts, is just how much Dragalia Lost meant to so many of you out there. And I feel the same way. I feel like it's been a vehicle for connection with others, particularly over the past couple of years where that's been especially difficult. I think it's been a very wholesome and positive community. And I think that that's going to be the aspect that I miss the most. It was very compelling reading through different posts, reflections on the game. There's archival projects in the works. There's an intent to preserve the game's wiki. There's been messages from the game's English voice actors about what it meant for their careers and their experience with Dragalia Lost. And just trying to absorb and take all of that in has been a lot. So I'm still very much in that initial phase of grief, I guess, where I'm just trying to process everything. But I will say that I feel at peace with what's about to take place in the game. And I've said it in past videos, I'm not somebody who wants to doomsay or anything like that. But I am someone who does like when things have a conclusion. I am somebody that likes there to be finality in a game. And especially with games as services and gacha games, oftentimes you don't get that sense of closure. And things just seem to continue on. And sometimes that can get repetitive, and it sounds like Dragalia Lost, unfortunately, just wasn't as profitable as other opportunities might be. So I think that's ultimately where things landed. But I'm not unhappy with Dragalia Lost having a true conclusion, a true ending, and I'm glad that we know about it now, just so that we can make an informed choice about spending on the game, about what we want to accomplish over the next few months. There's still content I haven't cleared. I want to do co-op of the Legend Sinister Dominion battles. I'm hoping that in addition to Primal Brunhilde, we may get some of the other Primal Dragons before July. So I still want to set out and accomplish those goals. And I think after that, once it becomes more rerun content rather than new content, I think that may be my sunset with the game as well. Now, I will say if you're a fan of Dragalia Lost, I don't know if this is goodbye forever. I do think that there's enough appeal in the IP of Dragalia that maybe one day, perhaps not anytime soon, but maybe one day there could be a spin-off. There could be other types of media. There could be Dragalia Lost 2 or Dragalia Lost Redive, perhaps, as we've seen Cygames resurrect some of its other franchises like Princess Connect. But I wouldn't necessarily hold out hope for that in the immediate term, or at all, to be frank, just because I think that with the different parties involved in Dragalia Lost, it might be more complicated than we realize. There's still things I would love to see, if we ever get some type of Switch release, even a compilation of all this great content that's here, delivered in a pay once or free-to-play form instead of the form that we have in Dragalia Lost as a gacha. I think that would be really cool. I think a Muso spin-off would be really cool and fit Dragalia Lost gameplay style super well. Hey, I would even take a Kaleidoscape app where I just do Kaleidoscape runs, because I thought that was a super sweet addition. It's a little sad that some of the recent characters and recent events, as I look back on it, I start to see the writing on the wall more than I did at the time, just because we've gotten some of the longest awaited characters over the past several months, and we've had so many events added to the event compendium. It seems a little suspect in retrospect as I reflect, but I think that that's all stuff that makes this a totally complete game. There's so much permanent content available. It's been so generous to free-to-play players and paying players alike, to the point that it wasn't able to generate the revenue to sustain itself even. So looking back on things, no regrets. I've loved my time with the community. I've loved covering Dragalia Lost. I really don't know if I'm going to plan on continuing here with YouTube. I might just keep the channel up, and so that the memories will be preserved. But I don't know what it's going to mean over the longer term. There may be a channel name change in the works at the end of July, but until then, it's going to continue to be exclusively Dragalia Lost content. Let's go ahead and click in here to the news post so we can get the full picture of what's going to be happening. But as you can see, regarding the future of Dragalia Lost, the Dragalia Lost main campaign is scheduled to reach its conclusion in July of 2022 with Part 2 of Chapter 26, the final and climactic addition to the long-running story. After the main campaign is concluded, service for the game itself will come to a close at a later date. Further details on the end of service schedule will be provided in a future notification. After the final set of new adventures is added in a summon showcase scheduled for March 31st, 2022, the game will not receive any new content updates aside from those for the main campaign and certain quests. Please note that summon showcases for existing adventures and dragons, as well as event revivals, will continue to be made available until service has ended. The Dragalia Lost team would like to thank each and every one of our players, past and present, for your love and support for Dragalia Lost since its launch. It is our sincere hope that you have enjoyed your experience with the game from the moment you started playing it, and we will strive to ensure that you continue to do so for as long as time allows. So just reading that, my first thought is, and I hope you share in this, I just want to use that feedback box to send some love and support to the development team for the game, because now is the time to do so. Now is the time to show what Dragalia Lost has meant to you over the past years. And that's my plan, that's what I want to do, and hopefully they feel that outpouring of love from the community that's really there and really longing for this game to continue. The second thing that I see here, when they mention the main campaign and certain quests, I'm really hoping that those certain quests are the Primal Dragon Trials. I think that the release schedule would be tight, and it's usually taken a bit longer than 1 month per endgame content in the past, but I would love to see those trials completed since they were started. So this coming week, we're getting Primal Brunhilde on Sunday, and maybe in April we'll get Legend Surtur to round out the Legend Sinister Dominion. Then in May we could get Primal Mercury, in June we could get Primal Jupiter, and in July we could finally close with Primal Zodiarch. That would be the best case scenario in my opinion, and that's what I'm hoping for as far as certain quests, and what that means is we actually do get to finish out some of those cycles of content that we've gotten to enjoy experiencing so far. The thing that saddens me a bit here is the part about the final set of new adventures being added in a summon showcase at the end of March. I was hoping that we'd get some of the dragons completed, some of the adventures completed, some characters that we've seen in the story get a playable version, and it's seeming like that just won't be the case if this is indeed the final set of new adventures. There are dragons I can think of, whether it be Atlas or Susanoo, some of the other dragons from Hinamoto, the other Worm Clan leaders from Hinamoto are another set of adventurers that we finally got the reveal of, but sadly, we won't get to actually play as them. Besides that, also comes to mind characters like Baron or Jin Lorda and Finn Lorda from the main campaign, even Orga, that we were never able to actually play as, that it would be nice to have them available. And I think a big one for me is the rest of the Agito cast. We got Ayaha and Toha as adventurers, and sadly, it doesn't seem, unless this new set includes a bunch, it doesn't seem like we're going to get Tartarus, Kayan, Ciela, and Volk as playable adventurers. And same deal from the dragon standpoint. Gala Beast Ciela, Gala Beast Volk, super cool Gala dragons. It's sounding like we're not going to have a Gala Ayaha and Toha Beast dragon, and we're not going to have one for Kayan or Tartarus. So those kind of things do sadden me. I would also say, as far as the story goes, there are probably some loose ends. I'm sure many of you are aware of them, that character arcs or side stories that we never really got to see fully developed. And the progress and the turns that the main story has taken, it just sort of does make you wonder how long this has been in the works. And thankfully I hadn't noticed it until now in the main campaign necessarily, so this may not be the ending that was originally planned, but as far as I can tell, it's still a fitting ending and I've been enjoying it. I'm going to miss Dragalia Lost. I'm going to miss this community a lot. I'm really still struggling to process everything. This has been quite the day. But I just want to say thank you. I want to maintain a spirit of gratitude about what Dragalia Lost has meant to me and all the positivity, all the goodness it's brought into my life. Genuinely enjoyed my time with it. I think I'm going to write that thank you note to the development team now. But that is going to do it for today, everybody. I hope this message finds you well. I hope you're hanging in there, thinking about what Dragalia Lost has been like for you. And I hope it's an awesome 3.5-year anniversary. Maybe with this news, who knows, maybe we'll have an all-out celebration, have more access to freebies, more free summons, you'll get to play with some cool characters you never had in your collection. The implications are massive, so anything could change over the next few months. But that is going to do it for today, everyone. Take care. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you next time.